Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the Verified Build. It's Monday. I'm going to quickly share with you what we've done so far this morning and what we've got planned for the rest of the week. As you can see, the scaffolding's up, and if you quickly punch up, you can see exactly what's gone on the roof so far. When I arrived here this morning, about 8:15, a quarter of the roof tiles were already off. Amazing to see that happening. All that needs to be done this week. Also, we've got our friend N Bundy and his team here. Nick's doing the full house rewire on both properties. They're in this week doing all the chasing out. My job with Nick this week to share with you is to talk about house rewires. Like, when does a house need a rewire? One sec, there's a car coming, I'm in the middle of the road. So with Nick this week, what I want to do is spend some time on camera talking about house rewires. We've got two house rewires going on here because we know the electrics were completely shot. But if you're buying a property, when you're walking around, we want to work out what the telltale signs of actually, are the electrics sound? What's the certification you should be asking for when buying a property? And when it comes to costing of a house rewire, what are the ballpark figures you should be expecting? So that's everything that's happening on the electrics this week. Chris is going to be here, who's doing the plumbing and heating, decommissioning the boiler and doing the first fix on that also. Big job, as I've said, that wasn't expected is the roof. You can see they've made a good start so far. The job is getting all this done this week. We've been told 5 to 7 days. The amount of bodies they've got on site, I think they're going to get it done. Take all the tiles off, install 4 key light roof windows in the master bedroom of the house, get all the roof tiles back on. One thing I am mindful of right now is we had blistering heat the last couple of weeks, and we've actually got our first spot of rain, just making sure the house is protected and secure for when these guys stop work by the end of the day. But they're the professionals, I'm sure they'll have it covered. Let's go have a quick look inside.
Hello, mate.
How are you, mate? I didn't realise you'd be here so early. So guys, start of week 2 on the build. Quick introduction. Nick, do you want to let us know what we're doing today?
Day 1 of the rewire for us. So first time we've met properly, we're going to nip round, go through our quote that we've already given. Spray paint, sockets heights, light switches, positions, stuff for the two-way lighting. Downlights and everything will normally just go in as and where it will suit to joist and floor space. But yeah, just so we've got a bit of a plan so we can just crack on with the lads, and then there's no complications 2 weeks down the line again. We needed a socket there when there's not a socket there, so that's the plan.
No, perfect. You said it's the first time we've met. It's amazing how well you know faces, specifically
just from the videos.
Just from YouTube. All right, let's get into it.
What we're probably going to do, depending on who wants power,
Yeah.
is we bought a tent board. I think it's 4 double sockets on it.
Just like charging batteries.
Charging batteries, site lights, site radios, machinery, extension leads as well, because we're going to need it for the hoovers anyway, and the chasers. If anything ever trips and breaks, it's all protected.
All right,
we'll stick that on and then probably just cut the whole power off, because if we're ever going chases, back in the day, if you go to this light switch, you would hope that they would just chase directly upwards. That's not the case. They go this way, they go like this, or whatever. So if we're going a socket there and we're chasing straight up, it protects him, me, and the equipment as well. So we just cut all the power off, make things a bit safer.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
I know that first time, by the way, because I was meant to just put 3 new signs up in our office in Birmingham. I thought I can probably guess roughly where the cables are. Bang, bang, 2 cables just blowing straight out.
And it's such a pain. So it's easy to just cut off, put our stuff on. Worst case scenario, if we need power, within a couple of days, we can just make another one up this side. So one
nice.
each. It's right, okay. Utility room, we've got boiler feed. So where's the boiler actually physically going? That's the boiler, that's the toilet, isn't it?
That's the downstairs WC,
Yeah, so extractor's going in there. We've got an LED light with a fan. Boiler's in there.
Boilers get moved to there.
With a light and a switch, and then we'll do 3 double sockets in here. So are you just going to do worktop across?
Worktop across, so I guess it's just 1, 2, 1 against this back wall.
Yeah, I won't mark up in here yet, because I'll let the lads figure out what they want to do, because what might be a bit easier is we stick 2 on top and 1 underneath with an isolator, just so they can see what's going on. Was there something happening with doors? Is there a doorway going here?
No doors being moved in this place. Through there.
Yeah, because there's a doorway going there as well, isn't there?
No doorway here. This is just getting knocked through. So there's
just as
on the side of this, these 2 are getting knocked through, trying to open this up.
Yeah.
There was a consideration about opening it up behind the cooker as well, but we're going to do that with structural. I haven't spoken to Dan about this right now.
Okay.
I'm quite against moving that door, to be honest.
And then the only thing was because there's wall lights. So we've got, I class this as the dining room.
Yeah.
5 double sockets, 4 wall lights with 2-way switching and Ethernet points. So the 4 wall lights, because of that one there, we'll probably just go 1 there, 1 there, and then 2 on this back wall lower down.
Yeah,
these
perfect.
Picture ones. 5 double sockets. Cover all corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Ethernet points, probably 2 in this corner here.
Yeah, so I'd assume that someone's sticking a TV up, they're probably going to stick it up there.
We can stick one on the wall if you want to, but it's if they don't have one, then you've got a socket in the middle. That's the only thing. Would you rather, if you've got 5, we're gonna have one in each corner and one up there. So if we're gonna put one TV for the bracket, we normally sort of pop it there. TV bracket will sit here, TV will lip and overlap the socket. It means you can plug it in and it won't sort of get in the way.
Perfect.
One there, one down here. 1, 2, 3, and one in this corner here. I'll give you a Hoover socket. Thing is, we fit in a lot of Hoover sockets. Like on landings now, I'll say to customers, fit you a socket for the Hoover. And then everyone goes, I have a battery Hoover. And you're like,
Yeah.
so do I actually, yeah. I thought about that. I'll stick it this side. I messed up a little bit. That's the lounge. This is the dining room, but it's the same. It's the same thing. There's just 2 in there. There's 2 pendants. We've got the wall lights, but 2 pendants as well, switched separately. This is the dining room. This was the awkward one of where, because it's such a mixed match of a room.
Yeah.
Wall lights, they're pretty much going to go in the same positions as they're in.
Okay.
And then socket-wise, thinking one down there for a little table next to there. One there. That's being opened up now completely, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they're getting rid of. It's just a bit of a oddly shaped room, isn't it, to figure out where you want stuff.
You're the professional, mate.
I wouldn't say one there. One down there. And then we'll figure out lights will copy the same, and then there's
these rooms,
go in. It's,
these ceilings,
mate. I already have a bad back, so I'll let Adam. Well, the thing is, those 2 are quite tall as well. Do you have a form of a kitchen plan yet? Your Howden's plan or anything?
We do have a Howden's plan.
I think you sent it last time, didn't you? Oh yeah, here we go. Right, I can roughly work out what's what. It's mainly just going to be the extractor to make sure that's in the right place.
Yeah.
That's getting rid of, I presume.
That's coming out. Extractor's roughly going in the same place.
And then feed for the cooker, sinks over there. We'll get the laser out and we'll do this a bit better rather than just sticking some spray paint on the wall.
Yeah. You can access the back of this as well in case you need to.
Is that whole bit being open or is it just that bit?
That's coming out. That's coming out. We're just waiting on one item from the structure.
But the pillars has to stay, doesn't
Pillars
it?
stay.
Yeah,
pillars stay.
All right, same with the 2-way lighting. We're just gonna have to do some wall lights in here. We did have a look at trying to put some LED tape in the ceiling, but if you did it one place, you'd have to do all the places, and it would either be in...
What's LED tape?
Just like the undercover strips.
Oh,
like
okay.
Flexible tape.
Yeah.
First of all, trying to get a decent finish on it, because there was one of them we were looking at where it was a nice chamfered beam where it went in. If they were all like that, it would have been great. Tucked it in, and it would have glowed the whole ceiling up. But with how many there are and how close you could be to, you end up just blinding yourself, and it wouldn't get the best finish. So the only thing you can really do is wall lights or LED strip lights on the beams, but you would get such a dark patch where it hits everything because it's such a low ceiling, and when it hit this you would just get a black spot on the floor as well. But we'll stick as many wall lights in.
It's a shame, because like say if they were recessed you could tuck them up, it looks stunning.
And the thing I haven't put on here, I don't think, it's the kitchen, which I probably will say we'll do, because this is such a long wall unit. There is wall units, isn't there?
Yeah.
No.
Not wall unit, no, we haven't got a fight for wall units, just cupboards.
Yeah, I was going to say put some undercovered lights, but
There is none.
There's no wall units. Other than that, we stick some LED tape afterwards under the pelmet there, under the plinth, sorry. So you can have a separate switch at night time that would just glow the floor up.
Yeah, nice.
I think that would add a little bit more spice to it.
This room, we talked about it actually last week. It's just, so we're taking, these doors are going to be, this one's taken out, this one's going to be nearly all glass to try and let some natural light in.
Yeah.
It's just so bloody dark in here.
Yeah, but it looks great on the camera, doesn't it? Okay, you see the top of your head.
Most people that have been on it so far have just been able to walk underneath. It's nice to actually have someone that's clearly tall enough to
Nice. Oh, hello. Lots of natural light.
God, it's thin wood, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, when he sent me the photos, I was like, there's no way around this.
Even the bloody cost members are thin, aren't they?
Yeah.
At least we can stand up. Right, I can't remember which one was bed one. They're all pretty much the same until we go into the loft, because that's the biggest one.
Yeah.
Bed one, 4 double sockets, 2 Ethernet points, and a ceiling light with pendant. Pendant with a switch. So switch, pendant will stay the same. Double sockets, we always do one either side of the bed. We always allow for I think it's a bigger double. Yeah. Just for bedside tables either side. One for your telly, and then probably one down here as well.
Perfect. Yeah, nice.
Back wall. I'd say anyone that's having a house rewire is 100%. If you're doing it, do one in every corner. Because that many houses we've been to in the past where it's one single socket. extensions everywhere, but you can't have enough now, and especially with all new devices. Roughly, where do you think the bed's going to go in here? Where are you going to put bed head into radiator? I'm guessing radiators are all going pretty much where it's going. The one's going to go back here, isn't it?
Yeah, one will go back there. I'd have to say here.
Yeah, it just depends. If it's a single person's room, then you would I'd put it here, a bedside table there.
Because we're likely going to stage this anyway. Once it's all done.
If you're going to stage it, you want it
You would stage it in
nice
the middle. Yeah, we'd stage it in the middle.
Right, so one there, one there, and then a TV socket one in this corner.
I actually can't believe how many tiles I got off that roof already. I would love to know what time they got it.
Double socket, one there. Spotlights, this is just where the ceiling allows us to do it because of the joists.
Yeah.
I've put 3 in here, one directly over the stairs. With this power of them now, that's enough light there, and then just 2 over. This is where we're doing 3-way switching, so you'll have one at the bottom, one here, and one there, which will allow you to walk in, turn off the wires. Nice. Bathroom, we know what to do with that. Yeah. It's fine. Oh, this is the master. Brother said this one was the master.
No, we're making that the master now.
That's fine.
Yeah.
One either side, because you've got a wardrobe in here anyway, haven't you?
Yeah.
And then the wardrobe, I think we just put it's quite big, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So think about taking this bit of wall out as well.
Oh. Right, earful then. Just 2 ceiling pendants, so we're just going to do one either side here, rather than the wall lights. And there's Ethernet points to go in, but I will just put them as and where the telly should go.
Makes sense.
You can put access points on the ceilings, but it's just nice to say how much you want to put in, really. Fuse board up here.
We couldn't work it out when we got it. It took us about half an hour to find the fuse board in the other property.
I'd never have looked up here. It seems a very bizarre place because, I mean, this is the most expensive cable you could really buy for a house other than armoured cable. Okay. And they've put it the furthest away possible.
To the third floor.
So there's 5 to go in here, but this is being built out for the little toilet ensuite, isn't it? Here.
Yeah, so ensuite's going there.
So we're going to be doing an extractor, but this is a chimney breast. So I think what we're probably going to do, we'll just probably put it doesn't work upside down. Ceiling extractor, and then the guys can at some point just change it for a tile vent.
Yeah, okay.
I forgot that this is you don't want to be coring out that. No. I'll mess everything up.
So just so you know what we're thinking at the moment, and I don't know when you need me to confirm it, we're thinking about just taking this out and then boarding that out and having the roof window slightly higher in the ceiling.
Okay.
Just to try and get some more space.
This is depending on what happens. Realistically, running cables in them, I might get to this at the end of the week. It might be when I come back off home.
Okay, I'll confirm.
Sockets in here. Whereabouts is your bed going to be then? Because I presume here now.
Yeah, I've definitely made that too wide, I think. Yeah, it will be. Yeah, because the entrance to the ensuite is going to be here.
There. Okay, so if we just there, I'll probably do it on this wall. Probably have to have a TV bed for this one, aren't you?
Yeah.
One there, either there or there, depending. Oh, no, to be fair, I can put one in the stud wall here. Socket will go in the stud work there. Yeah. Smoke alarms linked throughout, like we said on here.
Yeah.
The mains powered one, all through to a heat, which will all be its own circuit anyway.
Do you know when I was buying this property and I saw this?
You would literally go, that scares the hell out of me, I need an electrician to come and check it immediately. If you ever go to a property, so when we do EICRs, like electrical condition inspection reports, one of the key things is can you see any single installation? And a single installation means any coloured, not the green and yellow, but here you can see the black, the red, on newer cables it will be brown and blue. But if you can see anything like this, this is what we would put down on the report as a C2 or a C1 where it's failed immediately. Okay. Rewirable fuse board isn't the best, it's old, they're normally about 40 years old, 50 years old. That doesn't mean the wiring in the house is going to be rubbish. If you've got an earth, it can still be used. We would recommend that this wiring is the same age as the board, that it's come to its end of life. Like you would recommend the rewire, especially if you bought an empty house. But there's sometimes we can do the ICRs and these pass because we test the report, the installation to when this was fitted, not to modern standard. Okay. But we just do the recommendations. So we would obviously recommend that you put a metal 18th edition board in with RCBOs and SPDs and all that sort of stuff. But I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, but I would definitely recommend you get someone down, test it, get a decent report, and then see if it's worth doing. But you always want to do this process as you're interested in putting offers in, rather than a week before you're about to move in. It'll give you a chance to rewire it.
Yep. Here we go. Bit of jiggery pokery. Boiler.
Yeah, boiler's going in there, and downstairs toilet, and you want to macerate a spur in case you want a downstairs toilet.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, downstairs toilet is definitely going in there now. Hey!
That's what you're going to do it then. Exactly the same thing kitchen-wise. We'll just go off the plan, figure out what's best. Sockets, cooker, ISO, that sort of stuff, some wall lights. This one you could at some point run some LED stuff, but it's one of them. Fuse wall's going in the same place, but you're boxing that in as an outside cupboard, aren't you?
The corner utility box.
Far one.
Far one.
That's where it's going.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, guess what? It's the wrong one. I sort of know where it is anyway. I know that's the snug. So wall lights. I think there was 4 in here. Snug to go in here. So there was going to be. It was just a lighting switch in here, and I think it was a socket there-ish. Under here was a socket under the stairs, because that's where you're going to have your switch for your Ethernet cables.
Yeah.
Socket in there, switch, light switch, switches. Is that your light switch? It's the stairs. It is, isn't it? Yeah, that'll be this one. Well, we'll see if we can move it a bit closer.
Yeah. It's all just brick
Yeah, if you see
pillars,
stuff like this when you buy a property, don't lick it, because it will hurt. More daylight. Right, bathroom, we know what's going on here. Spotlights, some spotlights in here. Is that staying or is that going? Because the stud wall, this is coming, is the doorway going here, or is this being put back in?
Stud wall's going in, I don't know which side. I'm going to assume it's going.
I presume it's going back there because of this.
Yeah.
So if I put a socket here,
Yeah.
that'll cover the landing.
I'm assuming beds here.
Yeah. Right through there. I did say to Dan, we'll probably have to rip this floor.
Rip floor, yeah.
Just because we can't access the sockets in the kitchen because there's no void, like we were saying before. That there is almost concrete poured on top of the roof as is. Like we can't, like, obviously that's your joist, that's equally rotten to hell.
Yeah, flooring's coming up, but why would someone do that?
I don't know, it's everywhere. We tried it here and here and here. Because we've got no floor, we've got this much between there and there.
So you're saying there's no void between there and the ceiling upstairs?
Downstairs, no. There's a board that's held up between it, and that's the board, but we can't figure what it's made of. Because where they used to, instead of just putting like here, instead of just putting the old ceiling joist hidden, obviously in the olden days to get a bit more ceiling height, they'd raise it up so the beams were visible. Yeah. But by doing that for us as electricians and plumbers, the space that we've now got to run our cables or pipes has gone from, that's good, 8 inches, isn't it? You know, 6 inches to realistically 2 or 1.5, which is not too bad for electrics because we can get away with it.
But for 22 mil copper running through.
Pipes, you're knackered. So, I mean, most of this is going to have to come up anyway because it's smashed and rotten. Yeah. But we'll have to access, this is the problem when you want new sockets in the corners of the rooms, is we have to take up all the floor above in the same space where the cables are going for the access points. Yeah. So skirt, because it's chipboard as well, which means the skirt will come out for, you'll just circular saw it out, because most of this is going to, I mean, the water's got to it loads, isn't it?
Remember there was a shower here.
Seems odd with the showers.
Considering like how short on height we are in most of the rooms, I can't believe that they've done these voids don't make sense to me.
I've never seen it where they've just gone sod it or dropped it down.
Yeah.
Like I say, when you can see all the rot in it there, all the holes.
It kind of feels like
it's only held on by, what, 1.5 inches with just a couple of nails?
Yeah.
There's no screws in it.
It feels like someone's bought the property or decided we want a makeover and thought, that's hard work redoing all that, let's just overboard it.
You should see my house. And then LED, like we said on the thing, we'll do some lanterns. So half lantern here for the front door with the sensor. The same one will be on here. The same ones will be on the front doors. Yep. And then we're going to do a big, I can't remember what I said, 50 watt or whatever it was on the quote. Floodlight up here with the sensor. Yep. One on here, and I think one on the side, from what I remember. So when you're walking around or with the cars, you're going to be lit up. That's their electric, but like lit up nicely, just a bit of security really. And then an EV cable, not from here, but for that one. Yeah. That's just going to be poked out the wall for future. Yeah. Won't be connected anywhere, but the cable's in. Is the boiler staying where it is in there?
Which one?
The cottage, in the downstairs toilet.
There or there? Yes, yeah. Might shimmy a bit, but there or thereabouts.
So for The outside lights, what we're doing because of the way the timbers are, it's not your usual house rewire because of the age of the timbers everywhere, is most of the lights will have the permanent feed in the ceiling somewhere within a connection joint box or something, non-maintenance joint. If it was for a pendant on a ceiling, you would normally bring the loop in, the loop out, and then the switch, so you would have everything visible. Downlights are slightly different, but for the outside lights, so we can get the right positions of what we want and not too messy, is we'll bring the permanent light to the switch, and then from there we'll have a joint for the neutrals, and then one cable going to the outside light. This allows you just to have a bit more of a neat finish rather than a joint box somewhere. This is the problem I'm having on the roof over there, because it's a pitch roof very much like this with no access whatsoever into the ceiling. We'd rather do a joint you can access and see visible once you take the switch off. So that's what we're going to sort of do with that one.
So Nick, while I've got you, what I want to do is have a quick conversation. We're doing 2 house rewires here, one the house, one the cottage.
Yeah.
When a homeowner is looking to move property, buy a new house, and they walk around, what are like the telltale signs of the stuff they need to look out for to know and understand, are these electrics sound? Do I need a house rewire? What are the considerations?
I'd say when you first walk in, without like pulling sockets and switches off, because realistically it just be sparks that do that. Most of the time, if there's a single socket in each bedroom, that's a massive telltale sign that the electrics haven't been touched for 35, 40 years plus. That was always the way. It was when they were built, people didn't have smartphones and TVs to plug in the bedrooms. It was normally just a single socket up out the way. That's one of them. The old Baker-like light switches, so the old brown ones with literally a sticking out switch. Yeah. That's a telltale sign. Or not in here, but we've got a ceiling rose pendant and it has corded physical material on the outside, like fabric. That's another telltale sign. It's an old wiring system. Like I said earlier, reliable fuse board, you've got wooden back fuse board. If that hasn't been changed, realistically the wiring in the house hasn't been touched either. They're 40 years plus, I would say, getting looked at. I think if you're ever walking in, you're realising a few of those things that we mentioned without unscrewing stuff, get a spark in, just have a walk around, do a little check. Even if it's just a visual one, they'll be able to pull a few things off. Because one of the things that you won't be able to see that could easily be in the floor or ceiling is the old VIR rubber cable, which over time, it was great when it was fitted, but over the time as it's heated up, it becomes so brittle. When it's in the floor, the outer sheath and the inner sheath just fall off and you actually have like bare conductors just sat in ceiling voids.
Oh wow.
Where if you were just to stick your hand up in the loft hatch and let's say, which it easily is, the cables will run next to it.
Exposed. It
will get you, especially if you've got an old rewirable board, it won't trip if you were to get it the wrong cable and whatnot. If someone had stuck a nail in the fuse board, which they used to, or foil or anything like that, the only thing protecting you would be that fuse board, which isn't safe anyway. So you would literally just be clung onto it until the worst happened.
Talking about being safe, what is the risk of having poor electrics in a property?
Several. House fires, very common in old wiring. You've only got to get like rats as well that would join through it. You've got risk of electric shock, not only on the wiring itself, but if your property hasn't got any water or gas bonding. So over time, what we would do, on a newer installation, we would have a 10mm water bonding, an earth cable that goes down to your main water stop tap and into your gas. That means all the copper pipework in the property is earthed. If you don't have that, and there's a cable, let's say under the sink or in the ceiling or something, where a live cable goes and touches a bare pipe, every single bit of pipework and metal will become live. Wow. So let's say you turn the tap on to get in the bath, that will be live, you'll be stuck to it. It's the same with the sink or anything like that. So water bonding, gas bonding needs to be a must. But yeah, risk of life, house fires, if not, just not a very nice electric shock when you touch something. So yeah, it's people do not understand. They spend all this money on getting the house looking nice, rendering it, spend thousands on painters and flooring and everything, but really you need to get back to basics. The thing that could kill you the easiest is gas and electric. They need to be sorted first by a professional and then try and do everything else. And
talk about professional, what's the accrediting body that homeowners should be looking out for? And when you're buying a property, what certification should come with a property so you know it's safe?
So there's a few things. So the governing bodies, I work under NAPIT, there's NAPIT, there's NIC, EIC, quite a few different ones. If you were to go on it, you can see it's a governing body that we work under. And then certification for the house, some will come with none, which is very standard. But most of the time when people are buying a property now, it's requested that they have an EICR done beforehand, which shows the homeowner, the people that are buying it, the condition of the electrics before they purchase it, to see if it needs a full rewiring, it's going to cost them £10,000, then it's £10,000 they can either knock off the purchase value or the homeowner gets it done beforehand. It's just these extra costs that people don't understand when you move into a property, because it's not just, oh, it's 10 grand to rewire it, then have to replaster it. Most of the time you have to put carpet down, then you have to paint it all. And then on top of it, it's the upheaval of being in a new property and then I'll be able to live there for, let's say, 2 weeks. It's a massive stress. So always get a test done beforehand, or if there's already documentation that you can have. So if it's already been rewired, you will have a brand new electrical installation certificate, and you should have notification to building control, so you can check on the portal online who's done it, where they were done it, all that sort of stuff. So if you just type in your house, I think it's portal, can't quite remember now. I've never
we'll link
checked
it
myself.
up.
Yeah, check on the portal, you can see when the property had this notification of the building control, what the work was and who did it, and sort of dated and everything. So.
And you mentioned some rough costs, and I know it's not easy to sort of say a 2 up, 2 down is this much, but if you had to ballpark it, for common house, 2 up, 2 down, how much should someone be looking for a full house rewire?
This is based around Staffordshire, where I'm from and whatnot. It'd be completely different everywhere else. I would say, being VAT registered as well, you're probably looking at £5,000 plus the VAT for a couple of spotlights, good amount of sockets in the rooms and whatnot. That would sort of be the ballpark figure. But then if you start changing stuff to brushed chrome stuff, USB sockets everywhere, the price just absolutely rockets and goes silly. Especially people should be fitting RCBO boards now. I would say that to regulation, people can still fit split load. So the difference between the two is a new one is an RCBO, so you have an MC, every breaker in it, if there's ever one fault in the entire house, on one circuit, sorry, it would only ever trip one breaker. On the older boards, if it would trip, sometimes you lose the whole board or half of it. So really to regs, these should be fitted now. Some people are still fitting the split loads, the 17th edition ones. They're sort of getting away with it for now, but if you're having a new board installed, it should be metal. To my knowledge, it should be an RCBA board, and on top of it, I should have a little orange SPD as well, which isn't in yet to say it has to be, but most of the boards come with them now, and it's a bit of extra protection of surge, so if there's anything coming up the line, it protects all your valuable equipment.
Can I ask you boys a very dumb question? When it's raining, what do you guys just crack on?
Yeah, get all laff and bolt.
Come rain or shine, you guys just crack on?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Legends, nice. Just wanted to check. I suppose if you stop work in the UK when it's raining, you'd never get anything done. It's the first day that the tiles are starting to come off, and obviously roof fully exposed on the inside. All the water's gonna be coming down. That's how water works. There you go.
Where are you doing that bit there? Is that coming out?
We got asked this the other day. I guess if the option was to take it out with whatever you're doing, fine. If not, just retiling it.
It'll look better with it out, don't you?
Let's get you mic'd up and just talk through what the stages of the job are.
Just stripping the roof basically, and obviously new breathable felt, treated laffs on it.
Yep.
We're insulating it as well.
Yep.
Treated batons.
Do you know when you came to do the quote, originally I was in the budget thinking, oh, we can just patch some stuff up.
No, you won't be able to do that.
Why couldn't we patch this up?
Because the laffs were literally so thin and delicate. And,
Yep.
you know, they're really bad.
Okay.
Matchstick thin they were.
Okay.
So it was on the verge of collapse, and it would have gone eventually, I should imagine.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It didn't look good when I stuck my head inside.
No, it was definitely like really bad. So.
And like you said to me, it's like we're going to take all the tiles off.
Yeah, these are old Staffordshire Blues, so
Yeah.
these are the best tiles you can get, handmade Staffordshire Blues. So.
And when
yeah.
you're doing a job like this, what are the considerations that you need to think about? Like, how did you price this up? We don't need to share the pricing and all that right now, but how do you price
per
jobs
square
up?
meterage, really. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got to work out the access, things like that. If it's really bad access, then obviously you try and put a bit more on.
Factor that in.
Yeah, but it's good access around here, so it's all good.
And in terms of what the lads are doing right now, so you've got a bunch of lads up on the roof. All
Yeah.
they're doing right now, just so in layman terms for me, they're just taking all the tiles off, stacking them,
Yeah, stacking.
re-laffing.
Yeah, stripping all the old laffs off. We're insulating it all.
Yep.
100mm insulation between the rafters.
Yep.
Then obviously, yeah, new breathable felt over it. Treated batons. All the bricks have come off. We've got to re-bed all the bricks on there because it's just really bad. We'll do that in a bit.
And in terms of yourself, how long have you been roofing?
Since I was 16 years old.
How are you now? About 22?
No, I wish. Yeah, me and my brother, my business partner, have done it since we left school, so for about 20 years now. And we've had a business since 2018, September 2018, so
Busy?
nearly 4 years. Yeah, we're quite busy, yeah.
I'll be honest, I was transparent with you. We got 3 quotes to come and do this.
Yeah.
And a few things that got factored in. You weren't the cheapest,
Right.
but we told you definitely weren't the cheapest, but I think there's, whenever you get a job done, you guys could get on time. The quote came in.
Yeah.
When you said it would come in.
Right.
We asked you to come out, remeasure the roof. You
Yeah.
came out when you said you'd come out.
Yeah.
In terms of you running your business, what's the things that you think you do differently compared to everyone else that helps you win work?
I think because there's a lot of us, we can turn jobs around a lot quicker than most companies.
Yeah.
Because there's 9 of us, so we can literally, we're in and out on jobs. The quality's still there, obviously, but rather than 3-4 blokes on it, which
Yeah.
will take 3-4 weeks, should imagine.
And I'll be honest with you,
We
that was
could
the other
do
thing that
it.
came
We
in.
could do it probably 6, 7, 8 days or something. 8 days max, I should imagine.
And that's the thing that I think myself, other business owners or homeowners have to think about is getting you on the job.
Yeah.
Because we didn't factor the roof in, as I said, it wasn't in our budget. But
Well,
to get you to
good
be able
job
to
you did.
get it fixed,
I've got the
100%.
pictures on here
Yeah,
of the old, you know, once the tiles are off.
yeah,
And when you see the pictures, you'll realise why you needed it doing.
had to make the investment.
Definitely, yeah.
Like you say, you've got a bunch of lads on here. The way I see it is you can either have it good, fast, or cheap. So
No.
we'll have it good and we'll have it fast.
Yeah,
Not the
that's
cheapest,
it,
but
yeah.
you pay for quality at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Nice.
Right, so what we're doing now, we're going to use this wall chaser. This is from Tarbo. This has a triple blade in it. And the good thing about the triple blade is when we do chases, it's a clean chase and it comes out. You'll see the stuff downstairs with a bit different other footage. It's a clean channel out, but you can also utilise this for digging out the back boxes and for the sockets and the lights. So in here, when we want to do, we marked out a square. What you would do is hold that on, run it across, be 3 times to get the depth we require and equally the distance. So we'd overrun it because it's a circular blade. And then we will run this down. That'll allow our cables to sit into the floorboards. Downstairs is a different story because everything's run upwards. You'll see the longer chases, but that's sort of the theory behind it. You could do this all with a drill in SDS. But the good thing about this, you have the Hoover attachment and it takes most of the dust and debris with it, which is a bonus when you're on site. All right, so this is the difference. This has been stitch drilled by Adam, just because the brick is a lot softer in here. You can see, normally it depends all on plasterwork. You can have one that cuts out beautifully, or you can have one that crumbles out, or you can have one where the plaster does this. It's all dependent on the age of it and how loose it is. Chase it straight up, let's go to the ceiling, or then you have to drop down. This is the kitchen, so we've got a cooker point here, down to isolate it. That's going to be linked down in the bottom for the time being. Wall lights going on here, here. There's cupboards here. So it's a bit of a mix match between the two, but then there's always the case where trying to put a socket where there's already a socket, slightly at a different height. So we remove the old back boxes here, but this looks a mess as it is now, but it's very simple. When the new one goes in, a bit of bonding around it, be good as new. So that's the sort of how we get around chasing walls and everything and running cables. Makes it a cleaner job because of the dust extraction, by far. If you were to SDS any wall, you get an eyeful, the house literally fills full of dust, and equally you're getting got to tidy up afterwards. But with the wall chaser, you get a cleaner finish, so you most of the time while using the chaser, it will happen like this. If you SDS it, that's what it looks like. Because Adam couldn't fit the chaser in here, so this is SDS, so that's the difference between a clean and tidy chase and a good product, or SDS. But this is before wall chasers out, this is what we all had to do. And then before SDSs, it was all lump hammer and chisel, like, that's before my time, so I had to do that bit. But yeah, it's sort of the process of chipping, get all the messy stuff done. Once I have a good tidy, we're going to start picking floorboards up and running cables.
Chasing out's going well. Nick Bundy and his guys in there. They're going to move on to the house in just a moment. And also, quick update, weather does impact the roofing. We're due to get some weather tomorrow. Roofer said, shall we crack on? Basically, if we wait for the weather too often, that roof will never get done. So we're going to crack on. They're going to make it as watertight as quickly as possible. And the roof windows are due to go in up on Wednesday. So guys, it's Wednesday, just arrived to site. As you can tell, the weather is completely different. I've got a slight concern to what's happened yesterday because we asked the roofers to press on, come rain, come shine. They said they'll try and get it watertight, but the heavens truly opened up. So I have a quick look inside at what's happened. We've got the professionals on site, so I know they'll be looking after the property. My hands are full. Thought I'd treat the boys to a couple of little goodies we had at the office. We've got some McAlpine knee pads, and we've got the ProFit hole saw kit for electricians. We've done a lot of work with ProFit over the years, and this is definitely going to help Nick and his team. You can tell we've been working with ProFit for a while because these are one of the brands that actually use the tool torque ratings on their point of sale and boxes when they're sending them out to customers.
Oh, good, yeah.
There you go.
That's cool, isn't it?
All right, we have some of these in the office as well. There's a little present for you.
Oh, they're decent, aren't they?
They're the red back.
It's bizarre. I'll show you when we get up there. Downstairs, especially in the kitchen, the ceiling height is what, this high?
Yeah.
But then you go up into the bedrooms, you take a floorboard up, you have nearly a 1.5 foot void where they've rejoisted the entire building, like they've done with the ceiling. You know, they dropped it down. They've done it with all the floors as well. But then it's
Any
plasterboard.
logic as to why?
I've known it before.
Is there a body in there?
We've been there's some rat poo, there's old fag packets. Someone's rewired it at some point back in the day because they've left all the stuff under there.
Okay.
But I've gone to a house where the floor was that out of plumb, where they refloored the entire thing and levelled it all out that way. But I can't really tell with this. But if you look under the floor, then they've got complete plasterboard ceiling. But then if you come downstairs, you've obviously got your oak beams,
Yep.
and it's boarded. But I don't know. It's really weird. I've
Good
not
to
seen
pull
it
some
before.
stuff up and have a play. Oh, we have some key light roof windows. Did you handball these in?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Directly above there,
In here?
yeah,
Yeah.
is a concrete pad in the wardrobe where we're going to put the fuse board. We've literally chose the worst place to put it now.
Sorry, above there, there's a concrete pad.
And then in the lounge is a you know the landing, as you go up top of the stairs, turn right, all that's concrete as well. Never seen it before. Up, on one floor, and it's also supported by oak beams. I'll show you, it's weird. Everything's chased in here. Light switches, sockets, wall lights, sockets, TV, Ethernet, wall lights, switches, just everywhere.
That chaser machine does a really tidy job.
Well, we had 3 of them yesterday, so the Jack came again with his apprentice.
Oh, nice.
Called in sick on Monday, or whatever we did, and yeah, so we managed to get 90% done. We've just got the kitchen left to do. But then, yeah, so in here, from here, this all here is concrete pad. You wouldn't tell, but when you go upstairs, you'll see it.
Sorry, do you mean there's a void, then a concrete pad?
I couldn't tell you. But if you go upstairs in a minute, it is solid concrete. And now we're trying to get across to that.
Yeah.
The only thing we can get across to that now is take down that channel here above your head.
Okay.
But if you don't want us to do that, we can just get rid of the socket and put it somewhere else. But it's an ideal place to put the wall light as well, because this will be the corridor that this knocked through.
Sorry, what are the options? Because you can't get through this concrete pad.
Yeah, I'll just have to drop this, but I don't know how well that will work.
Okay.
That'll obviously have to be patched up afterwards and whatnot by the plasterer.
And the alternative is
Move it somewhere else.
Move that somewhere else where you don't have the ridiculous concrete pad with the body.
Because we've got a socket there.
Yeah.
You could always put 2 doubles and the Ethernet there if that's where the TV's going. But because of the layout of this lounge,
It's really odd, isn't it?
or dining room, whatever you want to call it, it's a bit of a tough one. But yeah, I'll show you upstairs to this. This is just very strange. I never noticed it before. It starts from there. You can see where it's been chiseled out here at some point.
Why on earth would that be the case?
You think of the weight on top of them beams down there. But because the plan was to go from the bedrooms and run everything landing straight across to the fuse board. But now what we're having to do is go through all the bedrooms and the bathroom and everything and come all the way around.
Dan's back on site next Monday, who's builder by trade, used to put up houses. Is it worth him putting a hole through this to work out what the construct is? Or is it asking for more problems?
I would just, it's not falling down.
Just
My
leave it.
personal experience, we've already found another way around it. It's
Yeah,
a little bit
just-
more work, but we're happy to do it rather than mess around with it.
Rather than play with that.
And if you go over to the far side there, where it's sort of above the fuse board.
Above the fuse. So just, where are we now? Okay, so above
Right
the
in
fuse
that
boards.
cupboard, it's exactly the same, concrete pad.
That doesn't look like concrete where it's been painted, or there's like some underlay type stuff, right?
I can just imagine, to your point, floor's not level,
Yeah.
make a mix up, pour it in.
Because this here is, I would say this is original to a point.
Yeah.
To a point. It makes sense. You've got the old concrete bit for the fireplace there.
Yeah.
The floorboards look pretty much untouched for. These would have been in. These won't be the original ones for the house. What's the age of the house? 18 something or other.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
I'd say these are probably 100
So-
years old.
These, yeah. But then if you look at the stuff in there, this is just because you've got 3 different step ups.
Yeah.
You've got this one, you've got that one, and then this one's even higher. So that's plasterboard there. But then below that, you'll have your oak beams with your internal runs of plasterboard, whatever it is, plaster in that.
Sorry, what do you mean?
So they've put this new floor in.
Yeah.
This is plasterboard put on top of the oak beams, but I don't know if there's a void between here.
that and the beams below.
Yeah. But it's easier for us to a point because we can just rod and clip to the underside, so we don't have to drill every single joist.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we've supported it for fire regs, that it's got metal clips in it for premature collapse. But then I was saying to Adam, in this instance, it doesn't really matter because you have solid oak beams below
Underneath.
that as well.
Yeah.
Which the fire rating of an oak beam is much higher than a little metal clip.
You got some real moody lighting going on.
Is that
right
good?
now. Yeah, that's good, mate.
So I'll do a bit of posting as
There
well.
you go. Whew. Yeah, that's the thumbnail.
But we're just trying to cover all aspects. So this run up here is for the kitchen. But this is, I've never come across this in this severity before like this.
There just seems to be so much
wasted space. You think, you look at the ceiling, look at that, and then even how much they've studied the walls out to the brick, to stud. And it's not like he's got insulation in it.
It's as if there's just been an inner shell built inside this property.
The house, yeah.
I thought you were going down a hole then, Harry. Okay. Well, I'd say on a positive note, is walking around this side, I can't see water running.
It's dry, yeah.
It's dry.
We've not known anything. We've actually gone, because the amount of dust and all this sort of stuff that's come down when this has come down, we've gone around with the hoovers as best we can, other than the central bits.
Yeah.
It
just stops the airborne dust for us, because when we start using the circ saws, all it does is just
kick stuff up.
Yeah.
How you getting on, mate?
Alright, so
Good. What's your plan regarding the roof windows, mate?
we don't want to do it today, so
Yeah, I don't blame you.
how we get on. We've had the heat, haven't we? We've now got the rain.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it'll definitely come next week, yeah.
Perfect, mate. Nice one. Are you good anyway?
Yeah, good, yeah.
Just a bit wet. So we'll have a quick look inside. Come on in, Harrison. We'll have a quick look. And really, guys, what I'm honestly looking for right now, there's nothing in the property that's of high value, but I just want to make sure to see if the property is dry. We've had some rain. So it's interesting just seeing what Nick's just said about the concrete. I'm not sure where that will show up in the episode, but we do have random concrete pads throughout both properties. Where are we here? Expose the soil stack. Let's have a quick look upstairs, H, and see if there's anything that's wet. We're looking good, mate. We are looking good. Happy. So what we've tried, so far you've seen some amazing drone footage of what's going on the roof, but naturally in this weather, Harrison cannot pop the drone up, so have a quick look at where we are. I'm really happy with the progress on the roof right now. As you can see, the tiles are going on, and by the end of this week, everything on this top layer, including the roof with the key light roof windows, will be complete, and the lower level, which you can see, if Harrison, you just point into that triangle area of the roof, that's all coming out, that's getting flattened. So the rear of the property and the front of the property, all the tiles are coming off, tidied up, the same as on the roof. This should look stunning when these guys are done. Quick update, plumbing is no longer happening this week because of availability from ourselves as well as the plumber. We have to get on site at the same time to make sure we can capture all the content, so he's now starting next week.
Does it cause any problems that it's not coming this week?
Right now, this won't cause an impact to our schedule of works in terms of when we want certain things to be completed. If it ran on another week, it would have a knock-on effect, so we need to make sure we get this done next week. Guys, back in the office today, largely because we couldn't get on site with the plumber. So let me share with you what's coming up this week. In case you're wondering what's on the screens behind me, don't forget, if you want to hire a professional trade that's reviewed, qualified and insured, head over to verifiedtrades.co.uk. Now, 5 minutes ago, we had all the verified build content on these screens, had the absolute pleasure of checking it all out. Harry's done an amazing job telling this journey. So don't forget, right now, actually click pause, hit the subscribe button. You got this long in this video, you may as well do it. Hit pause. We're there, you hit subscribe, perfect. Next week, we've got Chris from Minty Property Development coming through to show you what a heating system looks like. What goes into a heating system is probably more than you think. First job, he's going to decommission the boiler and talk you through everything that he's going to do at these two properties. Next, we've got key light on site, and I cannot wait to see the installation of these key light roof windows. So don't forget to hit subscribe. We're going to get back to editing the content. See you later.